And greetings, everyone, and welcome to Buzz for Good, where we talk all things nonprofit, the people they serve, and the good they do. My name is Michael Hemphill, and I'm the creator and host of the TV show Buzz that stars nonprofit organizations and airs on public television here in my adopted state of Virginia, my home state of Alabama, and increasingly on other stations across the country thanks to our partnership with the National Educational Telecommunications Association, or NETA. Now, earlier this year, I launched a new show called Buzz Live, which I refer to as the Tonight Show for nonprofits. And this week, in celebration of Juneteenth, it was my privilege to be able to shine a light on an aspiring nonprofit called Blacks in Technology of Southwest Virginia. We got to broadcast live from the Dumas Center, which at one time was the cultural hub of the African American community in Roanoke. And so on today's Buzz for Good, I'm honored to share this event with you to continue celebrating Juneteenth. Before I do, I would invite you to please stay connected with us through our website, buzzforgood.com. That's buzz, B-U-Z-Z, 4, good.com, as well as our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, even TikTok, all at Buzz for Good. And now here is the rebroadcast of our Buzz Live featuring the Juneteenth Celebration, produced and presented by a new nonprofit in our region, Blacks in Technology of Southwest Virginia.
Hi, everyone. Oh, y'all can do better than that. It's Juneteenth. Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm Living Proof. It is nice seeing all your beautiful faces today. I will be doing a poem called Blackness is Art. We are art. We are the ink that bleeds from the pen to the pad, from the pad to the page, a novel never written, a page never finished, a story untold. An art of written passion fulfilled with the blackness of soul, the mind of a warrior, the heart of a fighter. We are art. We are the glue. We are the voices worth fighting for. We are Black identity. Our voices have once said, I am dripping in melanin and honey. I am Black without apology. We are an identity that can't be found or fabricated, but emerges within when one has the courage to let go. Black liberation has never just been about Black people. It's been about a fight for our humanity, for our dignity. We are Blacknificent, defined as impressively dripping in Black beauty, elaborately infused with melanin, extravagantly bathed in chocolate. We are unapologetically proud. We are unapologetically blessed. We are unapologetically independent. We are unapologetically Black. Our Blackness is art. We are art.
So thank you all for coming out. Again, my name is Amethyst Edmond. If you don't know me, I am the program coordinator for BIT Southwest VA, and this is our Juneteenth celebration. Today we're celebrating independence through unity, and I wanted to kind of just break down what that really means, at least to me, and where Roanoke itself is headed. Now, I am not a native, so I'm sure people are like, "What are you speaking on Roanoke? You know, she's not from here." But what I will say is I've been here almost 4 years, and I have absolutely grown to love it. The people, the landscape, the opportunities, everything out here that I have seen in this community, it makes me love it. So the fact that there is so much pride here from everyone that I've met as well, that's something I want you guys to clap it up for. Like, Roanoke has been bustling. It's been the heart of things in the state for a while. So when we talk about independence, I like to think of that as the ability to sustain without something else. That is something that all of us are constantly working on. You know, when we talk about freedom, we don't realize how long that takes, no matter what the situation is, be it bondage, be it a job, be it something as small as, how do I get out of this dress later because I can't reach my zipper? So, you know, freedom, it's something that we really need to look at with a micro lens. And Roanoke specifically has a rich, rich history in that. And so I'm going to turn on a documentary that talks about that. One of the things she highlights is how Gainsborough was the historic district and the things that happened there. So when she finishes, I want to end it on a high note. You know, they may not have prevailed, but they did fight. And that's the key. When we look at Juneteenth, you know, the people in Galveston, Texas, were still fighting 2 years after everyone else. And so we celebrate them today, and we celebrate us today.
There was a distinction between, a bridge between black and white, believe it or not. Even though we worked in downtown and did work for people, there was still that bridge that separated us.
It's all that survives of the black community. You know, the initial historic black community was much larger. Maybe 90% of it was lost with urban renewal.
First thing that African Americans in the city of Roanoke have got to realize and come together and realize that they can create and develop businesses in historic Gainsborough.
Gainsborough is the tree from which Roanoke sprouted. Roanoke's oldest neighborhood was a thriving African American village until the late 1950s. Now it's teetering on the brink of extinction. Lifelong residents struggle to achieve a balance that will preserve the community's rich history and also propel it into a future of renewed vitality. In this half hour, Cox Communications is looking back at historic Gainsborough. White settlers originally established the town of Gainsborough around 1834, near what is now the intersection of 581 and Orange Avenue. When the Virginian and Tennessee Railroad chugged into town in 1852, it came through south of Gainsborough. The businesses and people soon moved to be closer to the tracks. When the whites moved out, African Americans moved into the original town of Gainsborough. It then became known as Old Lick, in reference to the nearby salt licks. The settlement by the tracks was called Big Lick. As the railroad grew, so did the town. In 1882, the railroad became known as Norfolk and Western, and Big Lick became the town of Roanoke. 2 years later, Roanoke became a city. A railroad subsidiary, the Roanoke Land and Improvement Company, developed much of the surrounding land, including what is now Gainsborough. Many of the homes it built from 1890 to 1925 still survive today.
Once the railroad came down here, the shops were established. Modern industry began in Roanoke. They had steel works and the shop that they built the railroad cars and so forth. So it was employment. And whites and blacks from mostly around here moved to Roanoke because I know the blacks were making maybe something like $1/4 a day as tenant farmers. And the railroad salary was $1 a day. It was 4 times more.
As early as 1890, African Americans were living in what is now historic Gainsborough on Center, Harrison, and Rutherford Avenues. By 1900, Roanoke was the largest Virginia city west of Richmond. African Americans had moved down Gainsborough Road to Gilmer and on to Patton. By the end of the first decade of the 1900s, cities across the country were responding to the influx of African Americans by passing segregation laws. Roanoke's government did the same, stating that it was to secure for white and colored people respectively the separate location of residence for each race. In Roanoke, Ordinance 2470 passed May 9, 1911. The U.S. Supreme Court declared these segregation laws unconstitutional in November 1917. By 1920, most of Gainsboro was predominantly African American. Gainsboro's population continued to grow, as did the neighborhood's vitality. It was becoming a self-contained community.
You had your doctor there, you had your dentist there, because Dr. Walter Clayton was a dentist, and Dr. J.B. Clayton Sr., he was a physician, and his other sons, and it was just a nice complex and drugstore, and we had restaurants. We could go to Dewdrop Inn, and we had the Star City Auditorium up there where the big bands came to play.
There was a drugstore and a soda shop, a hair parlor, and a barber shop in the triangle where the Clayton property is. When you wanted your medicines, you went to the drugstore side. If you wanted your hair cut, the men went in the front, and they had the women go around the back. That was sexist, wasn't it?
What's interesting is by going through those city directories and pulling out all the blacks, sometimes I don't have to do it, they've already done it, and seeing these businesses and names of, like a black bank. Who knew there was a black bank in Roanoke, or a credit union, land companies, real estate offices, the two film production companies on Henry Street. Those are just things you wouldn't imagine.
Arlene Ollie wrote African American History in Roanoke City, a compilation of records, in hopes of inspiring young African Americans. Ollie explored Roanoke's city directories for information to carry out her mission.
When you look at my book, you will find the name of every black person indicated in those directories, name, address, and occupation. And through those occupations, I got so excited about different jobs because all the history I'd ever read, except for William Boxcar Brown or Booker T. Washington or some celebrity, lives were pretty mundane and sad and depressing. So it was exciting to see people had jobs at N&W, not on the tracks, but in the offices, or they owned businesses and employed other blacks.
Gainsboro was a nurturing place. Evelyn Bethel was born on Patton Avenue. She left the area for a while to work in Washington, D.C., but returned home to share a house with her sister, Helen Davis. The fond memories are easy to recall.
I enjoyed it tremendously because when you walked the block, you saw houses and you saw gardens alongside the houses, well trimmed. And we had an opportunity to go to the YWCA, which was right down here on Commonwealth Avenue. And it was just a lovely experience.
We had Mr. Hudsona, he was a tailor. And we had the Roanoke Auditorium there. And of course, when the artists came to town, the whites had to stay upstairs if it was a black performer and vice versa. And sometimes they would come down and we would dance together. And it was nice, even though it was supposed to be segregated. But you know, there was never any big to do over it.
You are listening to my rebroadcast of our Buzz Live featuring the Juneteenth celebration of 2025, which was produced and presented by a new nonprofit, Blacks in Technology of Southwest Virginia. The next speaker you'll hear from at the event is Jordan Bell. who is a preeminent historian of Roanoke's historic African American community of Gainsboro.
Real quick question. Do you realize where you're sitting at right now? So you're sitting in a very historical location, and just 60 years ago, this would have been a bustling hotel, and directly across the street would have been a record store. Decades before that would have been the first black film director in the country. Oscar Micheaux had his film studio directly across the street, and guess where he stayed while he was here? Right in the building that we are sitting in right now. So imagine if Spike Lee had his film studio across the street, and while he was shooting Malcolm X, he was staying right here inside the Dumas Hotel. So the little snippet that you saw kind of helps you understand not only where we come from, but what's inside us today. So if you could imagine 200 businesses, from grocery stores to hotels to film studios to record stores, lawyers, doctors, hospitals, medical clinics, churches, schools, anything you can think of, it was right here in the Gainsboro community. Where the Berglund Center is now was an African American community called Northeast, aka Tank Town, where there were businesses and churches and schools. And through one swipe of a pen in 1955, urban renewal completely destroyed everything that I'm talking about right now. So what does Juneteenth mean to us here in the city of Roanoke? Do you realize that you're free? What does Juneteenth mean to us in Gainsboro? It means that our ancestors and our elders, who many of us are still here today, like Richard Chubb, Mignon Chubb Hale, Carolyn Hubbard, Sherwood Casey, all of these individuals whose parents and grandparents and they themselves fought extremely hard. And I can't believe I forgot this name, Claudia Whitworth. So right down the road here where First Baptist Church is, in that parking lot is where the Roanoke Tribune used to be. It originated in the Claywood service station on Gilmer Avenue, and I'll speed this up and go sit down. But Claudia Whitworth, who I believe is, correct me if I'm wrong, 97 years old, will be 98 this year. And she was at work today. And she was at work today. Claudia Whitworth's father started the Roanoke Tribune in 1939 in the Claywood service station. And when her father became ill, she took over the business. Well, she was going home one day. Now, mind you, the Roanoke Tribune was in the parking lot where First Baptist Church is now. She was going home one day to take care of her father, and she received a phone call. And one of her friends said, I am sitting right here looking at them bulldoze the Tribune. And everything from 1939 that was documented about African Americans, not only in Roanoke, but in Charlottesville, in Southwest Virginia, from 1939 up into the 1970s, is completely gone. So I ask this question again. Do you realize where you're sitting right now? You are literally sitting on soil and dirt that your ancestors fought and shed blood and risked their lives and their livelihood so that you could sit here today. So my challenge to you is not just to celebrate Juneteenth on June 19th, 2025 and 2026 and so on and so forth, but every single day you wake up and put your feet on the ground is a Juneteenth. So the blueprint is there. Evelyn Bethel and Helen Davis, who were featured here, have passed away, but they laid a blueprint. Richard Chubb is a blueprint. Our elders are the blueprint. If we sat down and listened to them, they'll literally tell us what we need to do today. So Blacks in Technology is birthed from a spirit that you saw right here on this documentary. So as I take my seat, my daughter gets on me all the time about always reading and talking and going here and going there. But real quick, it used to be illegal and a crime, and you could lose your life if you picked up a book. And in 2025, we have a generation of people who receive their news off of a minute-long clip on TikTok. So you don't know about historical Black communities. You don't know about eminent domain. You don't know about urban renewal. You don't know about the things that happened to your ancestors because you're only based off of a 60-second clip that somebody put together that never picked up a book. So I would encourage you to read a book called Root Shock. I would encourage you to walk across the street and look at the pictures along the culinary school. The building right across the street from us used to be Kaiser Record Store. African Americans had an insurance company. Right in the parking lot where David Ramey's beautiful murals are used to be the Virginia Theater. And right across the street, anybody ever heard of Duke Ellington? There's a photo of Duke. As a matter of fact, it's in the building right downstairs. There's a photo of Duke Ellington kissing a beautiful young lady on the cheek, and that photo was taken right here in the Dumas Hotel. So for the young folks, imagine if Chris Brown walked into Hotel Dumas and kissed you on the cheek. Chris Brown or Kendrick Lamar, or guess what? I know this will get you. Beyonce walked in the door and kissed you on the cheek, and your friends took a picture of it, and you can have that for the rest of the day. Well, Beyonce used to come to the Hotel Dumas. The people like Beyonce used to come to the Hotel Dumas. So our ancestors paved the way. We have a responsibility to make sure that we pay them back. So learn your history, read books, but the most important thing, listen and talk to our elders. Thank you.
I love you, Lord, for your mercies never fail me. In all my days, I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest nights. You were close like no other. I know you as a father, and I know you as a friend. for I have lived in the goodness of God. Hey, 'cause all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Hey, and for your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything, oh Lord, for your goodness is running after, it's running after me. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God. Hallelujah. Hey. Woo. Bless y'all.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much to Miss Donna Bowie for that. Give her another round of applause. She was awesome. Awesome. That song is The Goodness of God by CeCe Winans, if you want to put it on your playlist if you don't know it.
Matthew Janitor Mosley. What is independence through unity? Is it dependent upon the unification of a nation or city or neighborhood? Is independence a good thing, or does it ring out like freedom rings in the month of February or on days like Juneteenth? Does it stand out like James Baldwin or Henrietta Scott King or Henrietta Lacks or Dr. King, or sing a song like Jill Scott or CeCe Winans or Aretha Franklin or Luther Vandross, or sound wonderful like Stevie's voice? Or does independence come alive on its own, or is it sown on a flag or nourished like a seed, or sown in a garden or written like a song? Or is it brief or everlasting? Can independence cause devastation? You tell me. Being composed of all the things that matter in this world, is it celebrated in the way we live our lives? Does it come alive through hardship or trial? If it's voted in, will it last a while? Independence. In the end, is it forgotten, or does it sit around bruised or rotten to the core and misused, or is it something worth dying for? Or something no one cared enough about to use to heal our nation of all the bad parts, like slavery, just for starters? Free labor ain't free. It has cost our nation greatly. However, just giving people the ability to do whatever they want at any time is the reason we had slavery in the first place. There needs to be a balance. Slave masters would not have existed without some twisted form of independence and agendas and self-righteousness, maybe tolerance without slavery. Now that's a thought. Bravery begins when we stand up to the impossible situations. Think about it. And by the way, real righteousness is not only doing things right, but doing them when no one else is looking, and not shouting it out necessarily out loud all the time on social media. Separation starts in the hearts of men before it's implemented on any constitution or declaration and changed to segregation with the swipe of a pen. Evil at first glance is always disguised as good. These are the facts. Our leaders at first glance are always disguised as good. That's the parallel. The fact is, the world's track record for voting in bad leaders is at its peak. Thank God, right now, we still have a semblance of freedom and free speech, but history can repeat itself. So please be careful. And I know many of you don't like the president we currently have, but pray for him anyway. Pray for the nation every day. Pray we don't become arrogant of our own devices. True inspiration has been reduced to catchphrases and slogans, and it was never about a chicken in every pot or reparations promised or no new taxes. Y'all remember that one? And make America great again, and we can, but was always about separation and was always about control. They want to control you. Like when they made us sell our gold back to the government in 1933, Franklin D. Roosevelt, everything is always about control. Prepare yourselves. Are you a robot? I don't think so. It was about keeping promises they were never going to keep. It was about us being sheep for the slaughter and teaching it to our sons and daughters moving forward. What will you do? You still have a choice. Stand up for righteousness or lose your own voice. So much confusion with this or that. In the end, it was angels wearing devil hats. That was part of the delusion all along. Now, every U.S. citizen is considered an outsider. It's no longer based on skin tone or race or the way someone's face looks. It's all about agenda. Are you a conspiracy theorist or a whistleblower whistling in the wind? Can you ascend the Mount Everest of likes? What is your best device? Can you bicycle like Lance Armstrong, get blamed for cheating and still stand strong and then become an advocate for doing things the right way? America is still the land of opportunity the last time I checked. You just have to pull out all of the weeds first. Not only in the dirt, but in your heart also. The unseen, fickle, that trickle invisible, interdimensional weeds that fester and bleed and rot themselves into a soul, that's what we fight against. As the Bible puts it, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places. So why do we wrestle against love? Race was never the issue. Why was skin color ever the issue? You've been misled and misused. 1865 to 2025, 160 years, and it's still your choice to do what's right. Can you rally men with the sound of reason and your voice? What will it be then? What is real independence? Does it come from threats or doing sets at the gym, building up your muscles to fight your battles, but not building up your mind? Please read from reputable sources, but sometimes the conspiracy theory is the truth. Hear me out. Did man really land on the moon? Come on, y'all, seriously. 500 million years ago, dinosaurs existed, really? They existed, but not that long ago, but how would you know anyway? And carbon dating, and a dolphin is a mammal, which is really a person or something like that, and man ate the dodo bird out of existence, but it must have been delicious. Then that's probably true. I admit that it's probably true. And the Twin Towers were attacked by Osama bin Laden, but one of the buildings just fell on its own, and it just goes on and on and on and on. And no wonder Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson wanted to scream in 1995 from all of the confusion and lies. Are we blind, or do we just choose to not open our eyes? Just saying. Is independence blind, or is it a form of kindness, or do as you're told, or does it come from old books like the Bible saying treat others as you would like to be treated, respectfully? I know standing up for your rights can sometimes make you feel defeated, but don't give in. The road is long and winding, and just like the song says, and will always be, and even though he's heavy, he's still your brother. And God never promised that it would be perfect, but that he would be with us always, Matthew 28:20, even with all the lies. So continue on. As a human being, what do you have to offer? Some of the most beautiful minds are now lost to time. Who knows what we could have learned from the slaves? All those beautiful souls. Will you be the spark for someone else's imagination? Is your life short-lived? Is true independence through unity impossible to give or obtain? Is it something you'll hold on to like a love that you found after many years of searching, or is it just something you don't appreciate and let vanish away? Like when they try to take our rights away, what will you do? What will you say? What will you gain by being silent instead of speaking out? Will you go along to get along and say let people do what they want to do? Is independence gained through violence or wars, or is it something we're fighting for? I would say it is. There were millions of souls who thought so, died in wars and fought so. Is the constant belief in goodness we look for in one another, but know that we are all here to learn and to grow. No one is perfect. No one is, but let us strive for greatness in all that we do. You need me, and I need you. Let us come together for a common theme of independence through unity. Let us not be remiss and forget God in all of this. The process, the founder and creator of all. Man has unalienable rights that we are all created equal. And that was written in slavery times. And oh, how relevant it still is. We are all autonomous beings. People can only speak for you if you let them, so don't let them. Don't let anyone use you for their agenda or some hidden agenda, whether republic or democracy. Please know what you're up against, because its shoulders are broad and its lies are tall and it's often filled with deception, so don't be deceived. The devil is real. Use your own voice, but listen to others with good intent and the world will be all right. In the end, it's independence through unity, the respect of one person to another, whether religion, race, or creed. Is independence greedy and wanting to build a nation with free labor? Is it a God-given gift and what we need to use to lift up others? Are the ingredients to independence composed of tolerance? We all bleed, we all feel pain. We all love, we all hate at some point. The only race I'm concerned about is the one we are running, and the one we have to unite on a voluntary front against established tyranny, which sometimes looks like our world governments. How to stay independent through unity like a corporation or entity. Are you a leader in technology like BIT or Blacks in Technology? What is your end goal? Life is a community effort. Can you bring people together in a room for socializing, specializing in the greater goal of Black excellence? The fact is, there were a lot of sacrifices made for us to be in this room today, made for us to have a future, made for us to gather and use our talents and build bridges and be a part of something and branch into something new. Independence can be scary, I know. That's why when granted freedom, some folks just continue to do the same thing because it just feels safe. Ever wonder why a horse on a farm never jumps over a short fence, or a cow just uses his strength to walk through one and no one could even stop him? That's what conditioning looks like. It's there to make you accept your circumstances and to be happy about them. Are you living up to your true potential? Your future is now. Juneteenth is special for many and any significant number of reasons and will never be forgotten. If nothing else, it is a reminder that what can be accomplished through unity, when collectively we decide everyone should have their own independence to fail or to succeed. And it's okay to love your country, it's okay. And always love yourself, and that's all right. But most importantly, never forget to love God and to love one another. Please love one another. What is independence through unity? Matt the janitor, independence through unity. Thank you for my time.
Thank you to Matt and to Shauna, our dancer and our spoken word artist. So now I'm going to pass it over to Faison Nash, our councilman, and he's going to give us a little talk. Thank you.
You're good. How's everyone doing this afternoon? We doing good? We feeling good? Y'all look good. Y'all look good. First of all, I want to thank everyone that's been on the program before me, starting from our future leaders, our young kids, under the leadership of BJ Lark and all the great things that community arts does for our community, to the young lady that came and delivered us that beautiful poetry about black being art, to Matt the janitor, and the beautiful words that he just shared with us, and of course, Roanoke's one and only Jordan Bell for the history that he shared with us. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm honored to be here to speak a little bit about independence through unity. And with that, I took a lot of time to think about what I wanted to say today. And I came up with a title for this speech, Greater Than Before. So when we talk about where we started from, we all know the tales. We all know the stories. Most of us in this room are descended from people that sailed across the Atlantic in the cargo hold of a ship, infested with rats, with heavy, rusty chains on our hands, on our feet, and around our necks. Sent all over the East Coast and all throughout the South to work in fields, regardless if it was cotton, tobacco, sugar cane, rice in the Caribbean. We were put to work. And our people, even in the face of slavery, our ancestors never forgot who they were. They loved one another, taught one another, and looked out for each other. And they waited for freedom. They sung about that day where they would hear and feel freedom. And when that moment came, we built upon it. We built our own. We moved together as one. We created greatness. We built Black Wall Street, an economy run and controlled by black minds, backed by black dollars, and rooted in black excellence. We sparked the Harlem Renaissance, a revolution of thought, music, language, poetry, culture, fashion that changed the way this nation sounded and dressed. We created our own banks when they wouldn't give us loans to fund our own businesses. We created our own schools when they wouldn't give us education. We told our own stories and we stood on our own. And right here in Roanoke, that same spirit was manifested here in Henry Street in Gainesboro, where these weren't just neighborhoods, they were ecosystems that were thriving with doctors, teachers, barbers, business owners, and artists, all building, all serving, all thriving together as one. An example of what can be achieved. When a black doctor died on his way to receive basic medical care because he was denied medical care right here in the city, right here in the community that he served, doctors, our community, got together and created Burr Memorial Hospital. We didn't wait for someone to build us a hospital. We didn't beg no one to give us access to health care. We got it on our own. That is our legacy. That is where we come from. That is the power we have when we unite together. And we also know the sad part of that story is that it was taken. It was taken because of envy, taken for greed, through processes like redlining, urban renewal, broken promises block by block. What we built was destroyed and erased, sometimes by torches thrown by men riding on horses, too scared so they had to cover their faces, sometimes with bulldozers, and sometimes with the simple stroke of a pen. They took our homes, erased our histories, and disrupted our ability to generate generational wealth. But what they could never take from us, they didn't take it on the boat, they didn't take it on the plantation, and they didn't take it when they took away our businesses. They could not take our spirit, and they could not take our souls. And so right now, we stand at a pivotal point that our community has never been at before. We have more access than we've ever had before, more technology than we've ever had before, access to higher education, better education than we've ever had before, and the chances to create opportunities that we've never been able to capture. And I'm going to go a little bit off script here. Since college, one thing that I would always tell my fiance and my family is that my goal is to simply build a foundation. Build a foundation so that my kids can thrive, so that my kids can chase their passions, so that my kids can be who they want to be and not have to struggle, not have to try to figure out how they're going to make it, but to start not on the ground floor, but build their own. And when we talk about independence through unity, that is what each and every one of us have to do. We have to individually build our foundations. We have to individually make sure that we're raising our children in the right way. Because when we unite, it allows us to share our resources. It allows us to share our knowledge, the knowledge of those that have lived decades ahead of us, that can warn us of the traps and snares that lie ahead. And imagine if we did that. Imagine if we focused on ourselves, built up ourselves, and then came together, not envious of one another, not hating one another, but with the common goal to thrive and to build what we once had, but make it better than before. So that no one, no men on horseback, no politician with a pen, and no bulldozers can come into our neighborhoods or come into our homes and take what we will create again. And I think it's important to note that what I'm talking about is not some strategy or game plan that's never been done before. Other communities and groups of people in our country have done this for years. They invest in themselves. They employ themselves. They circulate their own money within their own communities. They keep their dollars within their own communities. They don't let the money leave. We have to do the same because we've done it once. And if you've done it once, you can do it again. So yes, some of that growth and some of their growth has come at the expense of ours, because oftentimes we give our dollars to them. We give our dollars to their news media outlets when we've had our own and still do to this day. We give our money to their restaurants when we have tons of people that have the ability to explore the culinary arts and establish their own businesses. We use our dollars to buy products for our own hair in our own hands when we have talented nail technicians and, I'm forgetting it, what is the person that does hair? Cosmetologist, thank you. I go to a barber, so I don't know. Cosmetologist. When we have our own cosmetologists in our own community, who we supported can start their own hair supply stores that we could then go into to buy the supplies that we need for our own hair and not have to give our money to anyone else and then turn around and help out the next generation. Because that's what it's all about. It's about all of us leveling up, raising the bar, pushing the ladder a little bit higher so that the next generation, the kids that were singing on this stage earlier, can walk through and climb a little bit higher than where we're able to climb. They can access doors that maybe were closed for us, but at least they know the door is there. Maybe there's a room with a table that we may not get to sit at. But if we put in the effort, we put in the work, we remain united, they can sit there. We have to play the long game. We can't just think about the past, and we can't just think about the present. We have to learn from the past. We have to strategize in the present, and we have to execute in the future. Because that's what other communities do and have done, and it's worked. So, today I want us all to commit. I want us all to commit to ourselves. I want us all to commit to supporting each other. And not just with, hey, how you doing? I'm praying for you. Because we all do that. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. but it's about saying, hey, these two lovely women right here just opened up a store today where they can do Greek paraphernalia, but also t-shirts for family reunions. Marley and Robin, please raise your hand. We have to support them. When we get our family reunion shirts, we have to go to them. Not Canva, not some website, them. We have to commit to ourselves to trusting the process. We will fall down, we will make mistakes, but we will rise again. And we will continue to elevate the bar every time and learn from the past, readjust in the present, and execute in the future. And so today, let's commit to protecting the younger generation. Let's commit to making sure that we reestablish the village. Let's commit to making sure that we're sharing the knowledge. Even when you think the youth may not be listening, I promise you, they are. I promise you they are. Those are sowing seeds like a farmer would. And sometimes you may not see your seeds sprout in a day. They might not sprout in a week. Sometimes seeds might not sprout until the next growing season. And that's a fact. And you say, I forgot I even planted that. That's the same effect you'll have on that youth when they say, sir, ma'am, a few years ago you shared this with me and I didn't notice it then. I didn't understand it then. But now I know. And now I understand, and I thank you for that. So we have to commit to reestablishing the village. And so with that being said, if anyone ever asks if we're capable, or if you even think to yourself, am I capable? I assure you, we are. We're more than capable because we've done it before and we can do it again. And this time, we'll do it better than we did before. Thank you. God bless you.
It must have been cold there in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine, for that's your way. Yet you've always walked a step behind. Now I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all of the strength. A beautiful face without a name. Yet I've never once heard you complain. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I wish I could be. I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. It might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I have it here, right here in my heart. I want you to know that I know the truth. I would be nothing without you. Oh, did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I wish I could be. I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. Oh, hey. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything, truly everything I wish I could be. No, now I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. Hey, did I ever tell you you're my hero? Everything, truly everything I wish I could be. And oh, now I can fly higher than an eagle. For you are the wind beneath my wings. Hey, you are the wind beneath my wings. Yeah. You are the wind beneath my wings. Thank y'all.
All right, can we give a round of applause for all the performances tonight? Excellent. Also, could we get a round of applause if y'all would like for us to do this again? Excellent, excellent. So this is our first event, now stepping into year 3 of Blacks in Technology for Southwest Virginia. As y'all know, the theme was Independence Through Unity. One of the main things that we wanted to celebrate today is our new independent 501c3 stepping into a new chapter for a year 3. So, round of applause. Just want to say a quick thank you. Great performances today. Also, if there were any performers or any singers, any speakers that are still here, once this is over, please come to the stage. We have a gift for you. And some of the final things I wanted, if you had any part today in helping to make this event possible, could you please stand? We just want to acknowledge you and say thank you. One person? Anybody? Okay, everybody else? Okay, one person. We have a camera. There we go, our curtain guy in the back. Some of our volunteers, I think some people have headed out, okay? So just keep in mind, we do have a splash page now. We'll be sending that information out, so you'll be able to stay tuned with all the upcoming events that we have. But other than that, I'm your new president, Douglas Pitzer, and I thank everybody for coming out tonight, okay? Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to today's Buzz for Good rebroadcast of this past Thursday's Juneteenth celebration, produced and presented by Blacks in Technology serving Southwest Virginia. Now keep connected with us through our website, buzzforgood.com. That's buzz, B-U-Z-Z, 4, good.com, as well as our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, all at Buzz for Good. We will be back next week with a new episode, but until then, I hope you continue being a buzz for good in the community you hold dear and supporting those nonprofits that are helping make your community an even better place to live. Bye now.